Hey world, it's your host Marshall, and thanks for tuning into my podcast, runONthoughts. Here we talk about everything and nothing because we are not afraid to be all of ourselves even as we evolve. And that's my thought for my fellow thought thinkers as we unpack our traumas, past hurts, and other BS. Y'all ready? Let's go. Hey, thought thinkers, welcome back to another episode of runONthoughts. I am happy to be here on this early Sunday morning, and I hope you guys have had a beautiful week of living a beautiful life. And remember, beautiful does not always mean that everything is going right, but you are able to deal, to self-assess, and to do the work. Before we get started, I want to stand in the place of gratitude because nothing is more important to me than being grateful for everything, therefore grateful for nothing. To all of you who have listened from the very beginning, I say thank you. To all of you listening for the first time, I say thank you. I say thank you. I say thank you. With that, I welcome you to go to runONthoughts.com, listen, subscribe, become a thought thinker, share with those in need or those who you feel would enjoy unpacking and unlearning past behaviors. With that, let's get started. I'm going to keep it simple today. We're going to start with a word. The word is metacognition. All right, I lied. That wasn't an easy word, but it's an important word that I want you to go and explore further and deeper after the episode. Thinking about thinking. Ain't that some shit? Cursing early, huh? Metacognition. Because it is important that as we learn ideas and concepts and unlearn how to unpack and go back and do the work and all of these things, I don't want us to get stuck in the journey of, see, this is not therapy. I believe in just getting to the truth, right? So I guess it's a kind of therapy, but I am no therapist, right? As we unpack, I want you to notice when you need therapy. But the truth is we all need help. We all need help. We all need help. But metacognition is thinking about thinking. And that's important. And the reason it's important is because it's the only way to know who we are. It's the only way to know how to attack a situation. Thinking about thinking. Let me give you a deeper explanation. The purposeful recognition, awareness, and or even control of one's personal thought processes. I spend a lot of time alone, and I'm recognizing that it is important to spend time alone because it is the only way to get to know your real self without seeking or needing other people's validations. You got to be with yourself because it's the only way that these conversations can be cultivated with who you are, with your real being, as if you cultivate them. And I know I'm talking a lot about this metacognition, but that's not even today's topic. I started there because I want us to go to a place that many people feel and live and exist in. But I understand that this one might be heavy. And so because of that, I want you to know how to think about how you think so that you are not afraid when it looks hard and feels hard and you're scared. I want you to recognize that you have control over these thoughts. Snap your finger. Go to your brain, go to your innermost thoughts and say, I got this. Today's episode, shame. Shedding shame. Gotcha, huh? Shedding shame. What's yours? What's not? And why it matters. I want to explore the dual nature of shame, how it can be a signal for growth and accountability. Because that's another word that most people don't like to do. Accountability. None of the things that we discuss can happen without accountability. Let me put that on hold. How it can be a signal for growth and accountability, but also how misplaced shame, especially from the actions of others, becomes an emotional weight we're not meant to carry. It's time to start and sort through the shame that you feel in your spirit. Release what was never yours and reclaim your wholeness. I know that sounds crazy, but the point is that shame can be important, guys. It's not all bad. And I'm going to talk about the good shame, but my emphasis today is going to be on toxic shame, right? The two sides of shame, productive shame and toxic shame, right? The kind that nudges us to do better. That's productive shame, to reflect, apologize, and grow. This is where shame has purpose. Purpose, especially when it's not tied to personal values, not when it's tied, but when it's tied to personal values and self-awareness. It's not meant to tear you down. Not all shame is meant to tear you down. Sometimes this is how we grow. This is where we grow. This is how it signals an opportunity for growth, repair, and reflection. Remember that word, metacognition, thinking about thinking. The only way to think about thinking is that you have to be reflective. You have to have accountability. All of these words are important. All of these concepts are important, right? Shame from hurting someone that you love. That's a good kind of shame. You shouldn't have did the shit in the first place. But whatever you did, this is a signal for you to have empathy and be emotionally responsible, right? This type of shame should show up when you've crossed the boundary or acted in a way that contradicts your values. This type of shame nudges you to apologize, make amends, and do better next time. I've been here, especially when I was younger. Lord, I thought I knew it all, and I don't. And for those of you who think you know it all, life is over. Because if you know it all, what is your purpose? I know some of y'all think your purpose is to tell everybody else what to do. But the truth is, life is a constant growing of yourself, of learning about yourself. We think we know the future based on what has happened to us in the past, and that is not the truth at all. I have judged and been critical in friendships and family, and then been wrong. And the truth is, it doesn't even matter if I had been right. I hurt people and were trying to force them into situations that would not have been beneficial or could have been counterproductive to what the universe or God had in store for them. Oftentimes, our judging is trying to play God as if we can see the whole picture. And I'm telling you guys that we cannot. Another productive shame is shame from hurting someone you love. Shame from being dishonest. Shame from acting out of alignment with your morals. You guys know if you lied. You guys know when you're doing something that you should not be doing, right? Out of alignment with your morals. I try to live in this one, right? When your actions don't reflect who you want to be. I have experienced this, right? Because the purpose of this type of shame is to invite you to realign your choices with your inner compass. and make different decisions moving forward. This type of shame is the reason why I tell you guys that it is hard to be myself. Because there are decisions that I have to make in order to be myself, in order to feel good about myself, in order to align with who I am. I understand that this thing that I might want to do doesn't align with the wholeness of Marshall, right? Shame and social awareness. A lot of y'all should feel this shame right now. The world is upside down. But what is that? This is shame emerges when you realize you've harmed someone unknowingly. Usually, this is through a bias or being insensitive or ignorant. Lots of you are ignorant. And I mean, good God, you lack empathy. You lack sensitivity. You think the experiences that you traveled in life are what the experiences that other people have traveled in life, and it ain't true at all. But these feelings that you have, they are internal. And it's not trying to make you feel bad, it's trying to make you a better person. And here's another one: shame as a boundary reminder. Right? There are moments when shame shows up because you've ignored your own boundaries or betrayed yourself to please others. Mm, mm, mm. I have also lived here. Usually, for most people, this happens in parental relationships or in romantic relationships. How many times do you go into something knowing who you are or knowing what you think you would do? And then when you get there, you allow, because you want that other person in your life, because you want to make them happy, because you want them to stay, because of all of your other issues like trauma issues, abandonment issues, whatever they are, you constantly move the goalpost of your own boundaries. And that feeling that you're having, that resentment that you're having inside of your own body, that feeling is shame. It's not that you hate the other person, because technically they only did what they did to you the first time. Any time after that is you. Anytime after that, it's you. It's what you have allowed. It's when you have allowed people to cross your boundary. And the boundary is about you. Remember, boundaries are always about who we are. You are mad that you ignored your boundary. And the more you don't align with your own boundaries, the more you ignore these boundaries, the worse you're going to feel. That feeling, that internal feeling that you're feeling, it's not mad. It may be mad, but you're mad at yourself because you're ashamed of yourself. You're feeling shame. And that's when it is time to sit with yourself and realign. It is never too late to go back. It is never too late to reset the boundary. Now, the truth is, it may be too late to get the other person to respect the boundary, but it is never too late to realign to the boundary. Because the boundary may be that since you've crossed my boundary, I'm leaving. And your leaving has nothing to do with the other person, because we all get choices, right? Purposeful shame is not about self-destruction. It's about self-correction. It should lead to understanding, not self-loathing. It should make you a better person. Now, guys, I want to get to the shame that I'm talking about. the shame that I see so many of you carry of, the shame that I see that is heavy in your baggage on your life's journey, the shame that many of you open up your baggage and close it back really, really fast because you have no idea of what to do with it. And I have had this conversation with my sister Karen many times, and what I tell her constantly is to give it back. This type of toxic shame is not yours. It is not yours to keep. It is not yours to wear. This type of shame does not belong to you at all. And I am going to reiterate over and over and over for you to give this shit back because it does not belong to you. This is the shame that you have inherited from trauma, from other people's shit, from other people's choices, from being mistreated, from being misunderstood, from being abused, and it is not yours. So give it back. This type of shame that you are feeling is a reminder that you are not responsible for the harm done to you. This shame is not yours to hold, and many of you are holding heavy shame, right? And even when it feels heavy, it's not permanent. And the reason why it's not permanent is because I want you to give the shit back. And I want you to know something deep before I even get started. Shame, this type of toxic shame, is a secret keeper. What am I talking about? This is a secret keeper that evil uses to be its soldier. Ain't that some shit? Evil uses this type of shame to be its soldier. It needs you to carry this shame. It needs you to keep your mouth shut. It needs you to shut up. It needs you to believe that this is your burden to carry. It needs you to do the work for it. This type of shame is what's silencing people. This is how evil people persist. They get you to wear the shame that belongs to them, and they get your light. They get your strength. They get your purpose, and they are walking around with a false light on them because the victim, who is not really the victim, you are not a victim. Some shit has happened to you. But they get you to lower your head and walk and carry the heavy burden of shame. And the shame, it silences you. And silence is how they win. Silence is how they win. Getting you to walk in oppression is how they win. And I'm here to tell you, the first thing you got to do with this type of shame is to name it. Acknowledge when you're feeling shame and identify the source. Identify the rapist. Identify the pedophile. Identify the liar. Identify the abandoner. Identify these people. Do you understand what I'm saying? Identify these people. Is this shame mine? Fuck no. Fuck no. It was placed on you by someone else. Recognize that it's toxic. It's bad. It's not yours. This is first of all, for me, giving it back is the only way to release this type of shame. I'm serious, y'all. Give it back. I don't know how many times or how many ways to say it, but so many of the shit that you are carrying does not belong to you. The only way that evil persists is when it gives itself to light and takes the light from you. But you don't have to You don't have to give away your light, but you have to have the metacognitive skills in order to think about how you think and recognize about why someone would want you to feel shame about something that they are doing that you are not doing. You do not deserve it. You are born, therefore you should be here. Therefore you are worthy. And because you are worthy, how could you being victimized be your fault? I have told this story many a times, and this is about to get vulgar. I don't care if you are butt naked as a child, walking around your home, and you bend over and hold your butt cheeks open. No grown person should desire you. Give it back, right? Talk about it with safe people. I'm a safe person, and I recognize that everyone is not safe. And I want you guys to understand that safe does not mean someone that you love. Learn to be quiet and watch people and watch how they move and watch what they say. The reason why I do not listen to people like R. Kelly and have not ever since I watched with my own eyes him piss on a child is because I am honoring my boundaries. I don't understand how many of you don't feel shame, but I am honoring my boundaries and I am honoring my commitment to those that love me. What does that mean? It means that I want any child experiencing that type of trauma to be able to see in me that I take what has happened to them seriously and I don't play no mother effing games and I'm going to handle it for real because I am not wishy-washy about it. There is no job on this mother effing earth that is so important that I can ignore a person's evil and darkness that they are putting on someone else to give them shame. Give it back. Give it back. And I want to be that safe space. So find a safe space for yourself based on people's actions and not just on how you feel about them and who they are to you, if that makes sense. No, seriously, I take that very seriously. I want any child in my life to know that I'm not playing. I'm coming. I'm coming to give you back your light. Your light. And I don't want anything that I do to be misconstrued that I might be all right with some stupid shit. What are you? Who are you? What are your boundaries? Why? Many people bend their boundaries, and I'm not excluded. But be clear about the bending. Be clear about your why you're bending. And be clear for who you are doing this bending of your boundaries for. Right? Be clear. And guess what, guys? You can write a new story. That's what this is all about. You can write a new story. And the way to write a new story is to practice self-compassion. Practice who you are. Practice. This is why the goal is to constantly go inside. Write about where the shame started and rewrite the narrative. This is why I tell you guys to give it back. Stop saying words like I was not enough, or I'm not worthy, or I'm dirty, or I deserved it. Get the fuck out of here. You did not deserve it. You were in a situation and you weren't treated with care. And that's not a reflection of your worth. That's a reflection of the other person's fucking evil ass ways and darkness, and the darkness that you are voluntarily carrying. I am telling you to give it back. Be compassionate with yourself. Treat yourself with the same kindness you give a child or friend who is hurting the same way that you've been hurting. Even if you made a mistake, you are not a mistake. That you deserve to feel safe, to feel loved, and to feel whole. You don't need to carry what was never yours. And guys, I tell you this from a full heart because I too have been here. We don't get to be humans without feeling shame. And I mean the toxic shame and the productive shame. So many people think that all shame is toxic, that some people don't even want to feel shame anymore. But shame is important. You cannot have a life without negative emotions. It is important. It is how you self-correct, right? Any of you have been the victim of a crime, of rape, who've been molested, if you are ashamed of where you come from or your parents' mistakes, like I said, shame is a secret keeper. Why would you be ashamed about what other people has done? I have told you guys many times that my mother was a drug addict. Why would I feel shame about the decisions my mother made? I see many of you lying about where you come from, but that's because you seek outside validation. I don't seek outside validation. I use everything I got and everything I am to tell my story, to be who I am, to learn from it. My mother being a drug addict is why I do not smoke and or drink. Well, one of the reasons. I don't want to turn out like my mother, but I'm not going to carry the weight of shame. My mother made a mistake. My mother was not the mistake. My mother's mistake is not my mistake to carry. But we live in a world that wants us all to walk with our heads down so that it can control us. You see? All of this is about control. All of this is about control. When others can control you, evil will control you. You'll be their puppet. And I don't want you to be their puppet. You'll forget your purpose. They want your joy to die. They want your light to dim. They want to control you. Why? Because they are not doing the work. Because they have been traumatized. Because they have sold themselves to the darkness. And in order for darkness to live, it needs light. Give it back. You are not evil's soldier. Do not do the enemy's work. Understand that when someone has done something evil to you, they want you to carry the weight because they are trying to make excuses for their bad is not a nice word, for their disgusting behavior. Like you're ugly, so therefore you're not worthy. They're ugly. They need you to believe that you are ugly so that you can feel that you don't deserve to be valued. They're disgusting. And you know that they're disgusting because it sits in the pit of your stomach. You just don't have anyone to share this feeling with, but you know. Internally, you know. You know. You know. This is why I want you to think about what you think, so that you can have a strong brain, a strong emotional stance, strong boundaries that align you with yourself, that align you with your light. Because once again, I'm going to say it again. You don't need to carry what was never yours. You are allowed to heal. You are allowed to be free. I'm tired of talking to you guys. Bye.